Everybody say, say, how can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? Words are not enough to say thank you. Say, Lord, you are my everything. You're my everything. How can I express my gratitude? How can I express my gratitude for all the many things you Father, you done for me, yeah. Words are not enough to say thank you. So Lord, you are, you're my everything. Say, I call you Jireh. Lord, my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my battle.
identity is crucial. Unfortunately for us, since independence, we've been trying to establish this identity. 73, we tried, we couldn't do it. 83, we tried, we couldn't do it. In 2000, we have President Kufuor, 2001, President Kufuor established the National Dialogue stakeholders to meet and discuss, and they still identified identity and identity system of the country as a key requirement for economy to grow. President Kufuor tried, but unfortunately, we're not able to start it. And then we left there, and then in 2017, so it's been a long journey coming. So in 2017, the president said, look, let's make this a priority. Let's make it happen. Let's make sure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to register and have a Ghana card. We captured 10 fingerprints, the facial, the picture, the face, and the eye, the two irises, to have 13 biometric data points for our citizens. So as we speak, we've had almost 16 million Ghanaians registered with their cards issued. So they have that. And then in early February, there was a lot of noise about e-passport and ICAO. So I would like to spend 2 minutes here to explain what transpired in Montreal before I pause and take questions from the audience. The High Commissioner of Ghana to Canada read this statement on behalf of the Vice President, which captured the essence of that event in Montreal. He said that today, then when he was reading this on the 9th of February, he says today marks a significant milestone in the country's goal of digitizing our economy as a transformational tool for development on an infrastructure built on trust and meets global standards. We have been working with the International Civil Aviation Organization over the years to become a member of its public key directory community. On the 13th of October 2021, Ghana became officially the 79th member of ICAO, right? And so, as you all know, the ICAO public key directory is a central repository for exchanging the information required to authenticate e-passport. As for us in Ghana, this ceremony was timely. It's consistent with our goal to become the preferred destination for global travelers, as well as aviation hub. As the headquarters of African continental free trade, Ghana's goal is also to become the business capital of the continent and the preferred destination for investment and tourism in West Africa sub-region. Indeed, Ghana has achieved this. Indeed, Ghana has witnessed a significant increase in the traffic of travelers. Now, for bearers of Ghanaian issued travel documents, our membership to ICAO should lead to better travel experience for our citizens due to the trust and confidence reposed in the authenticity of our electronic machine readable travel document, such as Ghana Card. The benefit of this membership are not limited to only holders of electronic machine readable document and our border control operation. As you may be aware, Ghana has embarked on a transformational digitalization agenda that is reliant on a trusted digital infrastructure necessary to deliver inclusive government to our citizens. We've done a key digital addressing system for easy identification of properties, an interoperable mobile money transfer platform, a Ghana.gov platform for access to government services, digitizing the passport office, digitizing the port, the DVLA office, and the renewal of national health insurance. And all of these things sit on top of a verifiable, authentic Ghana card, unique identifier that citizens can have, and that facilitates access to government services. So why Ghana card? It's needed to make our economy inclusive. It's needed to allow our businesses and small businessmen, the informal sector players, to have access to the banking sector to grow their businesses. It's also important to allows us as citizens to plug into the global economy when we are talking about e-commerce, right? We're conducting transactions online require a verifiable identity. We needed that. And then finally, to allow our citizens to travel to and fro Ghana without any hassle. And so these are the objectives. Some of them have been achieved, others are yet to be completed. So in summary, this is what I can say about the Ghana card and the journey so far. Thank you very much. I'll pause here and I'll take any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Blay. Thank you so much. Thank you for the information from the perspective of government, giving us the overview of the need for the Ghana card and its merit to Ghanaians in Ghana and abroad. I think I've been made aware that our other speaker, who is also one of the key speakers working with you today, is also with us. So if you wouldn't mind, before you take questions, I will give the next speaker the chance to explain a bit more from an institution perspective what has happened so far, where we are intending to go, and how is that useful to us. I will be introducing a man with dignity and with honor, someone who has held a number of positions in government and around the world. I'm sure time will not probably permit me to say it all, but I can say that he's the man with authority to speak to issues around Ghana card, its issuance in Ghana, and how far we've gone and how far we intend to go as a country. Permit me, audience, to introduce to you Professor Kenneth Agyemang. He is the Executive Secretary of the National Identification Authority in Ghana. Effectively, he is the one in charge who I believe called the shot as where we go, from where and how. Prof, good evening, sir, and grateful for your time to be with us. And I hope tonight will be one of the exciting topics that you'll be dealing with. Ghanaian community in UK are gathered online on Facebook, YouTube, and on Zoom, as you can see. And we are here to hear from you, from your authority perspective. What is Ghana card? How is that useful to us? Where are we going to get help as diasporans? Any concerns we have, I think today you have a lot more to. So I will leave you to run the show from now, and then once we are done, yourself and Augustine will be coming back and take questions wherever the questions might fall.
Well, thank you very much, and good evening to you and to all your viewers, to your participants, and to the listeners around probably the globe. It is indeed an honor to be able to join you this evening to have a conversation about the Ghana card. You asked a lot of questions about what it is and where we are, where we have been, what have we done, or what we've done so far, and how is it that Ghanaian diasporans are going to get the Ghana card. Let me begin, first of all, by saying a bit about the mandate of the National Identification Authority in order to properly situate the conversation. The National Identification Authority was set up in 2006 by law, and it has a five-pronged mandate. The first mandate is that it is to establish a national identification system for the country. That national identification system comprises several different components. The Ghana card is one of the key components of the identification system. But foremost among them is the establishment of a national identity register. That means that we are to register all Ghanaians from age 0 to infinity throughout the world. All Ghanaians, wherever they live, from age 0 to infinity. That's number one. Number two, we are to register all foreigners who are lawfully resident in Ghana. That is to say, those who live in Ghana for 90 days or upwards, and who are not diplomats or the representatives of international non-governmental organizations. And so that is the second thing. Beyond the registration, we are to issue all such persons with a national identity card. for policy pragmatic reasons, we have elected not to issue national identity cards to the infants under 6 years old, because by that time they are, before age 6, their biometrics have not significantly developed. But we will issue those under age 6 with a unique identity number, a unique personal identification number, which will be linked to the mother or other parent or guardian. And when they turn age 6, we will issue them with a card. But in the course of the work we have done, we have found it necessary to begin registering and issuing cards to those aged 15 and above, primarily because that is a segment of the population that we believe will make the most economical and viable use of the Ghana card, which is a smart biometric ID card, dual interface with multiple functionalities that I will speak about later. So that is what it is. We are to register all Ghanaians and legally and permanently resident foreign nationals in this country and issue them with identity cards. For those who are foreigners, their identity card is non-citizen Ghana card, and the non-citizen is written in red, bold at the top. So it is possible to have a Chinese national resident in Ghana, admitting that he's a foreigner, but obeying the laws of Ghana and going to register for the Ghana card, being issued with a card that says at the top, non-citizen, a non-citizen in red, and there is everything right and proper about it, or of any other nationality, as long as they fit into the category or the designation of foreigners. So we've done that, and to date, we have registered about 16.429 Ghanaians, indeed, as at 22nd February. I don't have the most recent statistics. I mean, as of today, I just came from field monitoring to be part of this conversation this evening. But we are well over 16.6 million at the moment. But as of the 22nd, when I have the exact data when we briefed Parliament, we were exactly at 16,240,089. 16,240,089 printed cards, and registered was 16,241,323. And then the number of cards that had actually been issued to people was 15,100,256. The second key component, which I mentioned earlier, of this mandate of creating a national identification system is the creation of a national database. That is a database that you create by registering people. And we are to establish, in the third place, a national data center and manage that data center. So we have upgraded our Tier 2 data center that we inherited in 2017. Under the current administration, we've upgraded it to an ultra-modern Tier 3 national data center, which serves as the repository of the nation's data at the National Identification Authority. The fourth thing, that is the fourth component of the system, is the collection, processing, and storage and retrieval and dissemination of personal data on the population in order to ensure the accuracy, integrity, and security of the data. That is a foremost obligation imposed on the National Identification Authority. So we don't just collect the data, we process the data, we store the data, and we have an obligation to ensure that the data we store and which we ultimately disseminate is accurate, that it has integrity, and that it is secure, and that we are able to invest utmost confidence in that database. And finally, the National Identification Authority is obligated to make data in its custody available to persons or institutions that are authorized by law to access the data. And so institutions such as the National Health Insurance Authority, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, the Ghana Revenue Authority, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority. The law calls them user agencies, and the Electoral Commission, for example. All of these institutions are authorized to access the data of the National Identification Authority. And in providing this access, we have a duty to make sure that the requisite laws on data protection are scrupulously observed, that data is secure, and that it cannot get into idle hands. So that's in short, or perhaps in detail, that's the mandate of the National Identification Authority. And the overall object is to ensure that we have a single source of truth when it comes to personal identity, so that there is only one Kenneth Agyemang Attafuah, that there is only one Kwesi Kwesen, that you don't have Kenneth Agyemang, then you have Kenneth Attafuah, then you have Akwesi Agyemang, then you have Akwesi Attafuah, and all of these multiple names of biographic details linked to just one human being whose biometrics remain constant. We are creating a system that constitutes the truth anchor of the Republic, that there is only one person with this set of biometrics, your fingerprints, as Mr. Blay indicated earlier, all 10 fingerprints, then your face or your facial, and then your iris or your eyelids, and the facial, the photograph must include your exposed ears, which also constitutes part of your biometric identity. We capture all of these, we store them, we process them in a manner that is credible, that is dependable, that is durable, and constitutes the truth anchor of the country. And the purposes are legion, and the benefits are manifold. That with a trusted identity source, a lot of the identity fraud, if not all of the identity fraud in this country, will be eliminated. That because you don't have multiple identities, you can be sure that when you encounter the police, or the police encounters you, as the case may be, and they process you or profile you based on your ID card and your digital address that Mr. Blay talked about, and your next of kin, and all the other biographic details that we combine, that we can, with a greater degree of certainty than is otherwise possible, be able to pinpoint and identify people and attach appropriate responsibilities and rights to them as may be necessary and appropriate. So that is what we've done. We have created the system, we have registered this number of people, we have issued this number of cards, and we have, most importantly, also harmonized and integrated the data that we have created with the other most of the other user agencies that I mentioned, smoothly, seamlessly, harmlessly, and noiselessly. And so you have a situation where Ghana Revenue Authority, Health Insurance, Controller and Accountant General's Department, the National Health Insurance, I've mentioned, I believe, all of these institutions have linked up, have integrated and harmonized data with the National Identification Authority without hassle. And in the process, they have all depended on the NIA and the NIS, the National Identification System, as the truth anchor. It sits in the center as the nation's repository, and the validity and trustworthiness of the other identity silos or databases are checked against that of the National Identification Authority. And that is a standard. That's what has been happening with all of these other user agencies. And we have onboarded the banks. Over 20 of the banks have now been onboarded. A lot of the financial institutions are coming on board. And you've heard the governor, the Bank of Ghana, the central bank, having issued a directive about July 1st as the deadline for all the banking and financial sector institutions to be mainstreamed in terms of the use of the Ghana card. So we want to get rid of all of these disparate reliance, not get rid of them aside, but the reliance on these disparate identity silos. Surely they have a right to exist, but the validity of any of them is checked against the central data repository. So that's what we've done, and it is our duty to register beyond those we have done who are age 15 and above. We have to take this mission down to Ghanaians under the age of 15. We have to go to the schools and the nurseries and the kindergartens and all of those other places where the younger segments of the population are found, and register them and issue them with our identity cards. We also have to register Ghanaians who are in our places of detention and Ghanaians who are in our asylums. The law says we are to register every Ghanaian. And we have a duty to also register the refugees who live in our country, who are foreigners, but also are a special class of foreigners in particular reference to their vulnerabilities and all of that. And finally, of course, our obligation to register our Ghanaian brethren and sistren in the diaspora. And that is I believe, the conversation that we would want to take on next. But I think there is an appropriate point to pause in case some questions or comments may be raised before we move on to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you so much. You've given us a whole overview. Many of us, we've seen Ghana Card, although everybody needs to get Ghana Card, but hoping the wider view of why the need for the card has become almost mandatory for everyone. We will take a second break. When we come back, we will be going to Q&A. I do urge all my audience who have questions to either raise your hands so that we can go straight onto it. Prof and Mr. Blay, thank you for taking time off your rather busy schedules and joining us. It will be interesting for you to know that we have listeners from Canada, Germany, America, all signed in and listening, and some have actually inquired whether they can have your contact so they can also do similar things. So please, I'm sure you'll be happy and prepared to welcome our other part of Diasporans who want to know more. Because I believe by the time we leave here, there will be a lot of initiatives that we can do with you. We will take a second break. We will come back and we will continue with Q&A. Thank you very much.
Tap. Yeah, fair ma yewo London. Ya ji abasobodie bebre. Ne ya redare ewo mranse mu. Eye legal services, be to say family law, matrimonial law, immigration, dispute resolution, Ghanaian customary, any family law. What BWF yen solicitors edi enijie ene twitwaje wo na ye bo nso nyeden kra. Yen partner penin pa Bernardo Wusu aye lawyer ewo UK memu bebru mfie duonu nkron 29 years. BWF Solicitors kra wo ho. Inti se ba na ebusuansem bi te se child care eya abofrahwe mu awaregya ye ho twuma mentwe ene ohye ana injunction ye de to domestic violence so a ye ma legal assistance ya edimu na ye adwuma nso. Yen child care any family team no nimnia wo famu ewe ne ya wo bremu enu ntine yeto ye mbo asema wafutu a esefata ewo kokoa mu. Yen senior partner obi a Law Society Family Law Accreditation Panel Agyemang no sanso ye member na kire se eba no se ye gina wachi etwitwaje wo family any matrimonial cases ho a wonni haw kra. Wo pe advice ewo immigration sensem ho. Wo BWF Solicitors ye immigration team no avedare ewo general immigration ho nsemsem kosi complex immigration, work permit, student visa ho totoye, any entry clearance visas, family visas ni appeals. Yen senior partner a member na wasagina tum ewo Law Society Immigration Accreditation Panel inti se taiwachi a wonni haw kra. Ye bie an office free juada ekosi fiada anopa no nkron pa mu ekosi enumre no nsia ɛyɛ 9:30 a.m. kosi 6 p.m. ɛna memeneda nso ɛyɛ appointment nko a free anɔpa nondu ekosi ewia no 9 ɛyɛ 10 a.m. kosi 4 p.m. Yɛwɔ 4th floor ɛwɔ Anna House 214-218 Tottenham High Road, London N15 4NP. Sawun 93 Seven Sisters Underground nso a ɛyɛ kwantia bi. Yen senior partner Bernardo Wusu san ye barrister ya Gina Tumu na oye Ghana Bar Association member ɛna wasan gyina sɛ mmranimfoɔ ɛwɔ court cases ya ɛfa Ghana law ho. Wa advice
from the office of the Vice President, the Chief of Staff, and of course, the Executive Secretary responsible for the issuance and all the work that needs to be done around Ghana Card. He has given us an overview. The men are here to answer your questions. Audience, please, tonight, let's refrain from the politics of anything. It's about Ghana Card, how we can get our bit, how can the diaspora be part of it. I will be kind to ask you that please let's not discuss politics. Thank you very much. I will go straight to Q&A, and I'll be taking questions from chat room and of course those who have raised their hands. May I first call on James Doe, please? James, if you are with us, please unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to ask the question. It's a smart thing to have a national identity card for Ghanaians, but my issues are, I live in another kingdom and I go to Ghana once in every 3 years or 4 years, maybe. Then what benefit is me holding a Ghana card to the government of Ghana? And what value does Ghana card give me? That is one. Two, I hold a Ghana passport that before they issued the passport to me, they took my biometric, identity, everything. Why do I need a Ghana card in addition to my Ghanaian passport that has the same data?
Thank you very much. Have you got 3 questions? Would you hold on to the 2 for now so we can get back? You can always raise your hand again, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. I will have my special guest to deal with your questions so that we can move on to another one. You've got 2 questions. Any of the 2 gentlemen can take these questions, from James. Why does he need to do 2 biometrics for the same identity that represents the Republic of Ghana? That's number 1. And what we use with somebody who only visit Ghana from time to time have for holding a Ghana card? I believe that's 2 questions.
I think Prof can answer that. It's an NIA question.
Okay. Prof, please, are you still with us?
Hello? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Yes, okay. So I think this gives me an opportunity to elaborate a little bit on the expected benefits from the Ghana card. The Ghana card is to ensure social, economic, and political inclusion. Indeed, the law says that we are to establish this national identification system in order to promote economic, social, and economic purposes. So there are a number of benefits. I would imagine that if you go to the bank, your bank will have see your Ghana card as a trusted source of your recognition as a customer. KYC issues are altogether resolved because they know that there is a trusted source. that confirms your identity. And when you show up at the bank, in less than 3 seconds, when they swipe or tap, the card is a dual interface smart card. Within 3 seconds, wherever you are in the world, it will go to the National Identity Database, run through the system, and give a response or a result, verifying your identity, or of course, denying it, as the case may be, to the bank. So there is trust, there is efficiency, there is reliability. If you take, so that's an economic purpose, for example. If you take the political, I can envisage a day when the National Electoral Commission, for example, will have such a high level of credence in the National Identity Database that it may want to extract the voter identity register from that database with, of course, appropriate amendments to their law if they are so minded. I can even see a day when they may want to use the Ghana card as their voter ID card. And already the National Insurance, the National Health Insurance Authority is no longer producing identity cards, but piggybacking on the Ghana card and saving us colossal amounts of money every year from not producing ID cards. We have the same with the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, relying on the Ghana card, not producing any more cards, and using your Ghana card as your Social Security number if you didn't have one already, but if you have one, linking the two. The same with the Ghana Revenue Authority, not producing, generating new tax identification numbers, but your Ghana card becomes your tax number already, broadening the tax base of the nation, or the people who are included in the tax net, and on, school feeding. There are other institutions that, for example, the Control and Accountant General's Department, we being able to clear all the ghost names from the system because of our reliance on the national identification system and the Ghana card. That is a direct benefit, my brother James Doe. It is a direct benefit to the government of Ghana, but it's also a direct benefit to you and your relatives in Ghana. It is about establishing a credible system and a dependable tax system and all of that, and of course accountability with respect to, say, the Control and Accountant General's Department. So it is immense. I mean, I can pick every single sector and go one by one through them. So the banks. And by the way, the legal identity and the biographical information that it gives you as an individual. Second, the address and digital information, the digital system, the information, the phone number, the email. This is the first time all of these things have been brought together as a complement to the identity of an individual. Reliable customer acquisition processes, provision of technical support, and ensuring that fraud is reduced and compliance is significantly ensured. If you go to if you look at the banking sector, significant amounts of money will be saved from the corruption that, the fraud that goes on, because we have a single source of truth. We have a reliable system that is impenetrable and incorruptible in that sense. So there are benefits to you, there are benefits to me, there are benefits to the Republic of Ghana. But your other question relates to why have a Ghana card when you have a passport? Good question. The passport is primarily a document evidencing your validity to travel outside Ghana. It's a travel document. It is an identity document we rely on when we are outside Ghana to prove our identity as Ghanaians to the extent possible. But it relates to those who travel and travel outside Ghana. For those who are in Ghana, the passport is not the primary document of identification. When we had not established a national identification system, or when the majority of Ghanaians, or a lot of Ghanaians had not had it, when we didn't have a critical mass of Ghanaians possessing the Ghana card, we had recourse to other identity systems, such as the voter ID card, such as the driver's license, the health insurance, baptismal certificates, and all kinds of documents that some of which were even spurious and easily forged and all of that. Today, we have relied on both the passport and birth certificates to establish a national identification system. And we have also allowed a vouching process, which entails swearing an oath before a commissioner of oath, a proper commissioner of oath, so that we have raised the bar, we have raised the standard of credibility or the credence that the courts would invest in the identity that you get. So every holder of the Ghana card holds it on the back or on the strength of a certain trust or promise. Number one, a passport that you have been issued that has gone through a certain sieving process of credibility. Number two, your birth certificate, which in theory presumes that you were not a participant in its creation, at least those that were issued at birth, that your citizenship is not in doubt, in theory, I repeat. And then, of course, the vouching process, which is done with someone swearing an oath, with all the legal consequences that attended. And I can assure you, we are prosecuting people who have made false claims. Just yesterday, we successfully prosecuted a Nigerian in Kumasi who had who had attempted to get the Ghana card. Ghana Immigration Service, and I forgot to mention, we have integrated our database and harmonized them with the Ghana Immigration Service also. And they routinely catch people who have falsely acquired the Ghana card, despite all the vigilance we put in. And when they do, they send the card to us, they send the people to court first. The court tries them, and where there is a conviction, they are deported, and the card is taken away and brought to NIA for appropriate action to be taken on them. So, in short, the Ghana card, in and of itself, is a superior document of identity that anchors you and I better than reliance on any other identity document. When you are outside the Republic of Ghana, you are by all means, the best identity you have that other authorities respect as of now is your passport. When I was in Canada recently, whenever I was asked for my ID card and I produced a Ghana card, they accepted it with admiration and sometimes very impressed. When they swipe it, it checks out. It's superior document, superior to a lot of identity documents in the entire world. First class, and therefore it is in your interest and in the interest of the Republic for you to have it. When you are not traveling and you are in Ghana doing business, our law demands at the moment that in order to do about 17 things in this country, you must produce a Ghana card. In other words, there are 17 mandatory uses of the Ghana card. Application for the very passport that you are talking about. In order to get a passport, Mr. Doe, you need to provide your Ghana card. To get a driver's license, produce your Ghana card. To buy or get an insurance policy, you need your Ghana card. To engage in a banking transaction, to purchase, transfer, or register land or landed property of any kind, you need your Ghana card. To transact specified, to engage in specified transactions with respect to health insurance, pensions, social security, consumer credit, even payment of taxes. You need your Ghana card for all of these things, and you need it, of course, to register to be a voter, and you need it to also register to have your SIM card, either to have it for the first time or to re-register it, and indeed to access any government facilities, services, and opportunities that are customarily available to the public. You need your Ghana card. And the law also makes room for such other transactions as the Governing Board of the National Identification Authority may prescribe. And these are not things your passport can do for you. These are the things only your Ghana card can do. And that is a good reason for you to have the Ghana card. And it's a good reason also for the state to insist that every citizen has it as a marker of identity as a Ghanaian.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you so much. I have one question sent to me privately. Somebody wants to know, are you saying with authority that the Ghana card and the passport obviously have two different biometrics, or is there any way that will be linked together at some point? That's number one. Number two, somebody who is a British national, hasn't got Ghana passport, only goes to Ghana for 1 or 2 weeks from time to time. What would they need to provide you to be able to get a Ghana card if they don't want to hold a Ghanaian passport? Question to Mr. Augustine Blay. You mentioned about being able to travel with Ghana card at some point. Where is that point? I mean, you mentioned about a statement in Canada or something that has been circulating that Ghana card can be used to enter by the vice president, can be used to enter so many countries. Is it that we can enter a country with it, or we can arrive in our country with it? Because at the moment, we have to take visa if we are not Ghanaian nationals with a passport. Can we have it here, or is there an indication that if I don't have Ghana passport, I can go to Heathrow and show my Ghana card and British Airlines will allow me on board? Can we get some clarification here if you can, please? Any one of you who can take any of the questions I've raised? Thank you.
All right. So I will take the few ones that my name was mentioned, and then the Prof can also take the others. So the first one is about traveling with a Ghana card, as the Vice President stated. In Montreal, the statement that the High Commissioner read was clear and very specific as to Ghanaians in the diaspora who are coming to Ghana. You are in UK, in Canada, in US, and you become a citizen of that country, right? So far as you have a Ghanaian ancestry, and the country or the country where you stay authorizes dual citizenship, because Ghana allows dual citizenship, right? When you are coming back into Ghana with your Ghana card, you will not need a visa to come in. Other than that, coming into Ghana with your foreign passport, you will have to go to the embassy and get a visa. But with the Ghana card now, because your citizenship or your Ghanaian identity is established by holding that card, you'll be able to travel into Ghana without a requirement for a visa on arrival or visa from the embassy and so forth. Now, the usage of the Ghana card to travel from Ghana to abroad, it depends on the country that's receiving the traveler. If the country, Ghana has to enter into bilateral arrangement with those countries so they can begin to accept the Ghana card as a travel document into their country. So I think the other questions were about linking Ghana card with the passport. I don't know whether Prof can take that one.
So thank you. Prof, before Prof comes in, I just want to make it clear, from what we are hearing, it is not a card that you can arrive at Heathrow and say, I'm a Ghanaian and this is my card. But you can actually go to Ghana without a visa, because there's a lot of confusion around its usage as it is right now. So we haven't established bilateral relationship yet for them to accept it on arrival back to where we live. But returning to our own country, it is now possible. Is that the case?
So returning to our own country, immigration office, immigration agency, immigration service has set up booths at our arrival hall to process Ghanaians coming with their Ghana card. The Ghana Airport Company has issued statement to all the airports around the world to all the airline agencies around the world and to all the airlines within the country that work within the country that they should allow passengers coming into Ghana to board with their Ghana card. So effective 1st March, which is in the past. So that directive has been issued, and so the Ghanaians can come into Ghana with their Ghana card. So this is what transpired. As I'm going to go over it again to make it very simple and straightforward. Coming into Ghana, Ghana has identified the Ghana card as an acceptable travel document for every Ghanaian who's outside coming to the country. So Ghana has issued a directive to the airline, to the airport, to authorize these airports, to authorize Ghanaians holding the Ghana card to board the planes and come to Ghana.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Prof, I don't know if you did catch my other question. It was, at what stage would the Ghana card be linked to our passport so that there will be no need for double biometrics to be done? And that is one area, those of us in the diaspora, because up until some time ago, we didn't do the biometrics, but now everywhere, every mission around the world does it. So why can't that two data be married together so that it takes away the necessity of anybody in diaspora going to have to be undertaking the same biometric as your services that are being offered through the NIA?
Well, thank you very much. The linkage is already underway. There are processes underway to ensure that the Ghana card and the passport are linked, the biometrics. However, as I said, it's a process. And the Ghana card, when you go for your passport, the information that they require from you are not as comprehensive as the information that are required of you when you go to register for the Ghana card. The passport limits itself to the information that is necessary for them to have the trust to issue you with the passport as a travel document, the only travel document in that sense for the Republic. And as I say that, I should hasten to add that the Ghana card is also a passport valid for travel within the West African sub-region, because there is an ECOWAS protocol that since 2014, 2015 has established it as such. And so the bilateral relations or agreements that Mr. Blay talked about, that hasn't happened with other countries. Within the West African sub-region, that has happened by virtue of the Heads of States and Government Protocol of December 2014, I believe. That has happened, and it enables a person a Ghana card holder to travel within the sub-region without need of a paper passport. And that is because of all the functionalities, passport functionalities that it has. There is an electronic passport on the Ghana card. So what it means is that the 15-point-something million Ghanaians who already have the Ghana card also have an electronic passport, each of them. But the linkage to the paper passport, the Ghana card process, acquisition process, goes beyond just issuing you with a card. There is a lot of information on the chip that is embedded on the card that can be accessed through a reader. But there is a lot of information held in the database, the National Identification System database, that goes beyond what the passport office holds. And so, for example, NIA is able to assist the Ghana Police Service, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, and the National Investigations Bureau, the security agencies generally, in criminal investigations because of the nature of the biometric and biographic data that it holds on people. But yes, the efforts are underway to link the two documents or identity systems. And very soon, and already, if you are applying for a passport without a Ghana card, there is no way that they will issue you with a passport. And that is the law, both the law and the practice in the country. So the question about double biometrics, that is exactly what we are trying to avoid. And that is why I have mentioned the plethora of institutions that are stopping or have stopped the taking of biometrics and the registration of people. And once you have the Ghana card, it becomes automatic. I've mentioned Social Security and National Insurance Trust and GRA and NHIA and all of those other institutions. And as we go down the line to register Ghanaians under age 15, from age 0 to infinity, football age, for example, will become a thing of the past. Multiple identities will become a thing of the past. And even the functionalities on the Ghana card, even with a deceased person, the capacity exists that an application of the fingerprint on a reader, the biometrics of that deceased person will pop up. You can tell who the next of kin, for example, is. And all these phenomena of unclaimed bodies also will become a thing of the past. The benefits are humongous, and I think that it is a technological system we've designed that ought to be held for all of us as people of Ghana.
Thank you, Prof. We've got a few hands up. I've got a lot of chat room questions, so I'll be taking 3 questions at a time. Can I ask audience, please ask 1 question at a time. You can always raise your hand again. We want to get through everybody who has raised their hand. For now, I'll call Jima, please. Jima Donko. Jimani Donko. Followed by Anthony and Kofi Kesi. So those 2 can get ready. Jimani, please.
Good evening, participants. Good evening, listeners. I would like to find out, in some countries, Ghanaians living there were not allowed dual citizenship. So they primarily has to denounce their citizenship before they could get that citizenship of the country they live in. So these Ghanaians have their children and their wives in Ghana. They visit there regularly. About the non-citizens Ghana card, what I've read is that its validity is a year. Someone who is in this situation that maybe has to go to Ghana every 2 years or because you're working outside Ghana, is there any possibility someone who is in this situation that maybe such Ghanaians having the chance to have a longer duration for non-citizens ID card, or because they have their wives and children there, they have maybe residence, so they can apply for the non-citizen. Is there any possibility that this validity can be extended, give them room? Because anytime they go back and they renew, they pay penalty for not renewing it on time. And also, I've read in the Constitution that born a Ghanaian is always a Ghanaian. It has been stated by, well, I won't say stated categorically, but has been explained by Mr. Blay. And well, I can also retreat our president who once said, born a Ghanaian is a Ghanaian, always a Ghanaian. So is there any possibility of giving us a special preference or preferential treatment?
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Donko, I think we've got your message now. It's about, can those who live in countries that don't allow dual citizenship have extended Ghana card duration instead of 1 year? Because if you go to Ghana now, you've done 1 year, you come back and you stay 2 years, by the time you are about to go, you can't use it anymore, unless you're going to get another one. So I'm sure Prof has taken note of that. Anthony, please.
Yeah, good evening, everybody on the Zoom. I just want to know, when is the Ghana government going to allow we, the diaspora, in especially in UK, to have this to register for the Ghana card because I have two SIM cards that I'm using at the moment. One is Vodafone and one is MTN, and I'm not coming to Ghana at the moment. So how can I get this Ghana card to register my SIM card?
Thank you, Anthony. At what stage do we become part of the process? It's been going on from when I remember I got my one in February 2020. So we've gone through 2 years and still diaspora is not being taken care of. How do we get that sorted out? Kofi Kessie, please. Kofi.
Good evening, Chairman and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My question was also about how to get the Ghana card, and also with regards to the banking system in Ghana, with the mandate that by 1st of July, anyone without the Ghana card will not be allowed banking services. What happens to us living in the diaspora with bank accounts and all, having investments and businesses back at home? What happens to us? How, as is of time, is time sensitive, how do we get a card, and how do we protect our investments back at home without a Ghana card, since the passport is now made a bit inferior?
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think if I can add that there's another chat room question which have just come to me, asking why have we given a deadline to when people cannot use their passport or any other ID at banks and places when some people haven't had the opportunity to get one of it? So there's a context to those questions that has been asked. A deadline has been given, and there are people in diaspora who will be arriving in Ghana who will probably not have the right information to get the Ghana card straight away. Why are we in where we are? I'm sure that's probably quite a question Mr. Blay can either take, and Prof can probably add to it. I'll leave the two of you for the three questions we've seen so far, and we'll move on to chat room, please. Thank you. In no particular order, Prof, you can answer them, or Mr. Blay can, anyone who wants to take any of the questions. Prof, please, you're muted.
Thank you. Am I on now?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll begin from the last question, because the last set of questions are sort of interrelated. And you put it, why a deadline when not everyone has gotten the card? And what about banking beyond 1st July 2022, protecting our investments and all of that? How do you get a card since the passport has become inferior? The passport has not become inferior. The passport is a veritable document that evidences your validity to travel outside the shores of Ghana. It is a superior document for travel, superior to every other document in that sense. So they serve two different purposes, but the Ghana card has a complementary role in the manner that Mr. Blay, for example, explained, and the anticipation, or the hope rather, is that it will have additional value for travel when we have signed bilateral agreements with other countries. And for those in the West African sub-region, it is already functional in that sense. Those coming into Ghana on Ghana passport do not require a visa. That has been explained. So the passport is not an inferior document. Now, the deadline. The National Identification Authority is a creature of statute, and its officers obey the law. The officers of the National Identification Authority do not have a mandate to set any deadline for any body or for any institution, and it has not done so. There is no deadline set by the National Identification Authority. Other stakeholders have found it necessary and appropriate within the context of their operations to have deadlines which may enable them meet their sector-specific mandates. But those are questions best answered or addressed by those institutions that have set deadlines. The National Identification Authority is an institution that exists in perpetuity. It has established, as we speak, beyond the head office, it has established 276 operational district offices across the country. And it has established 16 regional offices across the country where it is providing registration services. These will continue till thy kingdom come. There is no deadline for the acquisition of the Ghana card. There is no, from the NIA standpoint, there is no limit. And in setting up these offices, we had expected that Ghanaians who had not been able to acquire the card would be in Ghana, would be able to go to the offices and register for the card or obtain their cards that they registered for but had not been issued to them at their leisure and pleasure. So we have that system in perpetuity. What I think has happened is that because of the deadline, say of the telcos from the National Communications Authority, for example, there is a lot of pressure brought on NIA to issue Ghana cards. So you go to NIA offices and there are people queuing and sleeping there overnight, and a chronogenic market structure has been, as it were, has emerged in some contests where inappropriate conduct is taking place with respect to card acquisition and card issuance. But this is not a function of NIA setting any deadlines. So NIA is not in a position to, strictly speaking, answer questions about deadlines. We have not set a deadline for anyone to get the card, and anyone can get the card whenever they are able to in Ghana. But the question about overseas, diasporan Ghanaians, again, I'm not in a position to speak for the Bank of Ghana. But it is the case that for Ghanaians in Ghana, we have, let's be honest with ourselves, we have gone around this country twice at colossal expense to this country, registering Ghanaians. We've gone around doing a mop-up nationwide. We have also gone around doing a card issuance bliss, an exercise just to issue cards to people. And we got to a point where you get to a registration center and some of our officers were sleeping because despite the significant public education, a lot of people were not going to get their cards. There were people who were even asking us to pay the money before they would go and either register or pick up the cards that they themselves had registered for. We have reached a point where, as a result of an external stimulus or sets of external stimuli, people are now rushing for the Ghana card. There is an avalanche of demand and significant pressure on NIA and its staff, significant stress, people working Saturdays and sometimes Sundays, long hours in order to meet the demand that has been triggered by the deadlines that other stakeholders have set. But I think it's important that we distinguish between these two imperatives. Then the question about Ghanaians, when will they be, the Ghanaians in the UK, when will they be allowed to register? It is a statutory obligation of the National Identification Authority to register all Ghanaians living everywhere, as I indicated earlier. But there is a program to follow. We had indeed intended to begin the registration of Ghanaians in the diaspora in March of 2022. But since October, our energies, our attention have been concentrated in trying to meet the tremendous demand at home. When the pressure at home is so huge, it appears, and you are unable to meet it because it had not been, this is not something that had been budgeted for, that had not been planned as our response. What we were to do is what we have done. set up offices, make our services available across the length and breadth of the country. Now we are having to hire additional staff on contract because we have limited clearance from the Ministry of Finance for the number of people we can hire. And you don't want to, of course, hire 10,000 people, and when the bubble bursts, when the pressure goes away, you are saddled with, a redundant workforce. So we have regular workforce, and we are augmenting and supplementing it with temporary staff on contract to help us deal with the pressure. The plan is to begin in May or June, and most probably in June, with the registration of Ghanaians in the diaspora. We've engaged with the Ministry for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. The various processes are underway so that we will set up a scheme that will work best for all of us. The law prescribes the modalities for doing this. It is Ghana Embassy or Ghana Mission staff overseas who will serve as the registration officials by law for the registration exercise. And they must be trained by NIA personnel and equipment provided, and all the requisite documentation, forms and all of that. Those that have to be downloaded to make people, enable people to apply or fill the forms online to the extent possible. To do so, print them and come to the registration center the embassy, to reduce the pressure. All of those modalities as prescribed by law are being worked out so that the experience of Ghanaians in the diaspora registering for the Ghana card will be smoother than what we had with mass registration in Ghana. And those, again, will be permanent arrangements. If you decouple our arrangements from the SIM card re-registration pressure, you would see that it is an arrangement that is to be continuous and that is to be hassle-free for everyone. And as a responsive state institution, the kind of measures, for example, now we have opened registration points at the various stadia in Accra, Kumasi, in Sunyani and Ho and Cape Coast, at the fire service point, and other places to try and help meet that pressure. As soon as that it goes down a bit, and the arrangements we have with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration also come to fruition, we will begin, I believe, in May or June, and I'm being a little sketchy or hazy about that because things have to be firmed up. I don't want to give a firm date, but the plan is to very quickly then come to the diaspora. I believe that the other sectors that have established deadlines are also responsive state institutions, responsive to the needs of Ghanaians at home and abroad, and may review, subject to their own imperatives, the circumstances and conditions under which people may register for the various services that they provide or be able to continue to maintain those. But those are not questions for the NIA to answer because they fall outside our purview. Then there was a question from, so that's for Anthony. Then there's a question from Jimani Donko about dual citizenship and the non-recognition and all of that, and Ghanaian, once a Ghanaian, always a Ghanaian. That is true. Once a Ghanaian, always a Ghanaian, but that is a cultural and spiritual statement, not a legal statement. If a Ghanaian renounces his or her citizenship, that person ceases to be a Ghanaian. I indicated earlier that we are creatures of statute. We have had the unfortunate situation where couples who have lived in Germany, professionals have contributed to German society, and they contend to Ghanaian society, and we don't doubt that, have returned and want to register for the Ghana card as Ghanaians, but they are not Ghanaians. And surely there are good reasons why the laws of our republic ought to be respected. The same way that the laws of the various countries in which we live as Ghanaians in the diaspora ought to be respected, and we do our best to respect those. So, if you have renounced your citizenship, then just as Mr. Agyemang rightly said, there is provision for you to acquire the non-citizen Ghana card. You acquire that at a fee. It is a fee of 120 United States dollars, and it is subject to renewal every year. The question is it possible to extend the duration of the validity of the card, make it longer than a year? That is not a question NIA can answer. It is a law passed by Parliament that is being implemented by the National Identification Authority. If the Ghanaian community in whichever country or in its totality, the Diasporan community or in its totality is able to advocate Parliament to change the law, we will obey the law. But as it is now, those who were former citizens of Ghana, no matter how spiritually, emotionally, and culturally connected they are to Ghana, once you have severed your ties legally with Ghana, you cannot in good conscience and practically claim to be a Ghanaian and seek the benefits of the law in that measure with respect to whether extension or suspension of the renewal obligation, or a reduction, an extension of the duration or a reduction of the fee. All of those are things that can be properly canvassed with Parliament, and when a decision is made, NIA will obey the law. So those are my views on that matter. It's subject to legislative reforms, and NIA will do the needful if that change occurs.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you. Next round of questions is how easy it is from the chat room. How easy it is to make changes to your Ghana card, i.e. you are married, you want to be Mr. this or Mrs. that, you are divorced, you want to be that, or you want to return to your maiden name. How easy it is to do that with a Ghana card. And also, now that a Ghana card is acceptable, when do we stop filling London cards as Ghanaians holding Ghana card? You and I am sure you will be aware that whether you have Ghana passport or not, you still have to fill that green card or green and whatever card before you arrive in Ghana. Whereas on our way back, we don't have to fill anything when we have British passport returning. How are we going to approach that situation? Because it's dear to some people as well. And then also somebody wants to know, how can the Ghana card become the unique identity and link to addresses? So if a police stop me with my Ghana card here, would they be able to know where my home is in Ghana, or do I have to, would they, because the PO box address obviously doesn't work. Anybody can quote PO box and still get away arrive in Ghana. How are we going to make sure this card become something that when you quote on any information, it gives you straight away to the authorities if needed? I'll call, that's 3 questions. I'm sure it will be answered in due course, but I'll add 2 more from the chat, those whose hands are up. Noble, please. Noble and Michael, please get ready. If Noble is still with us, please unmute yourself and give us 1 question.
Good evening to everybody on the panel. Question is a very simple one. There are some of us who have dual citizenship, particularly a British one, and have a whole lot of investments in Ghana, including a landed property. Now, between now and the time that we can get a Ghana card, how do we actually exercise our responsibilities back home? For instance, if we're going there to look at your shares or landed property or go to the bank, between now and then, how does it affect us?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Michael, please unmute yourself. Michael Anansi.
Good evening, panel. My question is to do with the telecoms. It's my understanding that we have until the 31st of March to link our Ghana cards to any telephone number we have in Ghana. Now, so there's the first stage is the *404# and then you can link it. But I understand that in Ghana, you need to be in Ghana also to have that. You need to have your biometrics taken. So for we who are unable to go to Ghana now, yes, we can link our phone numbers to the Ghana card. However, we cannot complete the stage 2. So what's going to happen with our telephone numbers? Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's 5 questions in all, I believe. And please, with brief, we can ask our speakers to address them so we can move on to another set.
Okay, let me take a few of them. Some of them I can take. First one I can take is I think we have to, the Bank of Ghana directive, we have to look at the Bank of Ghana directive properly. The directive says that in furtherance of its objective of ensuring the safety of the financial system, Bank of Ghana, pursuant to Regulation 7 of the National Identity Register, hereby directs that with effect from 1st July 2022, the Ghana card shall be the only identification card that will be used to undertake transactions at all Bank of Ghana licensed and regulated financial institutions, including banks, specialized deposit-taking institutions, non-deposit-taking financial institutions, forex bureaus and credit reference bureaus, payment service providers, etc. So the directive is that from 1st July onward, every transaction will require a Ghana card. Doesn't mean that your account will be closed, doesn't mean that it's just that when you're conducting a transaction at the bank, you're going to have to provide a Ghana card for it. And so I know Prof, and I heard Prof express this point that the directives that have been issued by NCA, for example, he will not be able to speak to it. He's focusing on what the NIA has done. And NIA is issuing the card. If you make yourself available, when you land in Ghana, you have the proper documentation. You have you get to the right NIA office. You register, and then you have your card given to you so that you can comply with it. The NCA and the Bank of Ghana has exemptions. I think we have to work with them to get the clarity on it. How Ghanaians in diaspora who cannot come to Ghana to confirm their SIM card, what will happen to their SIM card in these particular instances? So this is something we have to get back to you on the exemptions that has been given to Ghanaians in diaspora for both the SIM card registration and the Ghana card. When you land and you don't have a card to conduct transactions in the bank. So I think the remaining questions are NIA specific, so I will refer to Prof on those.
Yes, thank you very much. I'll take off from where Augustine left off. Your account is not closed. It is a transaction. When you arrive in Ghana, you can go to any of the 276 district offices or 16 regional offices or the head office to get registered. And there are premium registration centers also available at a fee of 250 Ghana cedis, where you can also go and get your Ghana card. And that account will be, the bank account will still be there. And then with respect to SIM card, I think the point Augustine makes is a solid one that I associate myself with. But back to the question of how easy is it to change your records on the Ghana card, to update your record. It is indeed very easy. If you, under Ghana law, if you want to change your name that appears on the face of the document, say the Ghana card or a passport, you need to effect the change in accordance with law. So the affidavit that now, makes a change, and then you need to gazette it. So if you bring the gazette notification to NIA, there is a very simple process. You pay a statutory fee of 30 Ghana cedis, and within 3 minutes, you walk out of the place. The problem often is with your new card, with your new name on it. The problem often is the queue at the bank and all of that. But that is recently because of the huge volumes. Between 2020 and between September 2020 and October 2021, people were praising the efficiency and the beauty of the system we had set up at NIA as matching in any part of the world. Because you go there is a bank teller, there is a queue of just about 5 or 6 people. It goes very fast in 3 minutes or 10 minutes maximum. You are at the bank, at the till, you pay, and it's a PIN. You get a PIN, you give it to the NI officials. Within 3 minutes, sometimes less, your card is printed and you go away. Now there is that pressure because of the SIM card re-registration. But the point is that the system design is a smooth and efficient one, and it is very easy. Within 3 minutes after paying for the change, you will get it. Now, if you are changing an information that is not on the face of the record, on the face of the Ghana card, there is no fee. So, for example, you have moved your residence, the digital address has changed, or your residential address, and you want to update that record, that or your postal box number, or any of those kinds of things. You go and there is no payment, and the change is made for you within record time. The question about when landing cards will cease to be a requirement at immigration on arrival at our ports of entry. I cannot answer that, but I indicated earlier that there is direct and active collaboration with the Ghana Immigration Service. And I think that we'll get to the point, and it is a process that is led by the Vice President's office, that Mr. Blay, where Mr. Blay is the chief of staff, the secretary to the Vice President. That process is on, and I think Mr. Blay may want to put this on the front burner so that we explore with the Ghana Immigration Service when they may be able to simply rely on the information of the Ghana card so that the person, a Ghanaian arriving, may not have to fill that. But that's a process design issue that we can take up. How can the Ghana card become universally accessible with information instead of reliance on PO box number? Sir, we have stopped relying on PO box number in the sense of this kind of identity management. The PO box number is still very, very relevant for those who have to send letters and parcels and all of that. But even parcels, Ghana Post will deliver it to your door using the digital address. But postal box numbers are still valid for a different set of purposes. But in terms of identity management, there is no reliance on postal box numbers. The reliance, as we have been saying from the beginning of this conversation, is on your unquestionable biometrics. And if somebody doesn't have, we take all 10 fingerprints, 10 fingers. And if somebody doesn't have fingers, the person is an amputee. We rely on the face, the face. And people may look so strikingly alike that you cannot tell one from the other, as in twins and all of that. We rely on the iris, which also sets up people apart, on the ears, which also have unique features that set people apart. So there is the 3 levels of biometrics that we have, which help us to make that distinction between you and another human being who may otherwise look so strikingly like you, but we can distinguish because when you do the analysis using all these 3 levels, you get something. There are people who have fingers, but who don't have fingerprints because the fingerprints are destroyed from hard work and all kinds of circumstances, then there is recourse to the facial recognition and, of course, to the iris. So that is that. And Noble, you asked the question, how can you get Ghana card when you come to Ghana occasionally? The answer is that when you get to Ghana, there are all these offices that I talked about. Everywhere in the country, there is an office of the National Identification Authority, and they will be there whenever you come to Ghana. And my hope is that in the next couple of months, all this pressure will be down, and by the time you come to Ghana, if we don't come to you before you come here, that when you come to Ghana, you can easily register for the Ghana card. The last question from Michael Adansi relates to the inability to complete stage 2 of the SIM card registration process because of geography, your physical absence from the country. That is the case, but again, it is not a question that NIA is actually in a position to address at the moment. As soon as the National Communications Authority or that is the agency that regulates the telcos is able to make any pronouncement on that process, we'll be more than happy to share it as a secondary institution and a partner, as in a state institution that believes in interagency cooperation that will help in educating the public about it. But it is not a process that is within the purview of the National Identification Authority, and therefore I'm unable to speak to it authoritatively. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you, Augustine, Blay. We will take another set of a second break, where you can at least help yourself with a bit of water, and we will come back. So please bear with us. Thank you for your time, and I'm grateful for that. We will take a quick minute break, and we'll be back. Thank you.
Tap, and yeah, fema yewo London. Ya Diasporan bebree. Ne ya redare ewo mranse mu. Eye legal services, BTC family law, matrimonial law, immigration, dispute resolution, Ghanaian customary, any family law. Wo BWF yen solicitors edi enijie ene twitwaje wo na yebo nso nyeden kra. Yen partner penimpa Bernardo Wusu aye lawyer ewo UK memu bebru mfie duonu nkron 29 years. BWF Solicitors kura wo ho. Inti se ba na ebusuansem bi te se child care eya abofra hwemu awaregya ye ho twema mentwe ene ohye ana injunction ye de to domestic violence so a ye ma legal assistance ya edimu na ye adwuma nso. Yen child care any family team no nim nia wo famu ewe ni ya wo bremu enu nti ne yeto ye mbo ase ma wafutu a esefata ewo kokoa mu. Yen senior partner Ayobia Law Society Family Law Accreditation Panel Agyemang no sanso ye member na kyerese eba no se ye gina wachi etwitwaje ewo family any matrimonial cases ho a unni haw kra. Upe advice ewo immigration sensem ho. Wo BWF Solicitors die ye immigration team no abredare ewo general immigration ho nsemsem kosi complex immigration, work permit, student visa ho totoye, any entry clearance visas, family visas ni appeals. Yen senior partner eye member na wasa ginatum ewo Law Society Immigration Accreditation Panel. Inti se ye taiwachi a wunni haw kra. Ye bie an office free juada ekosi fiada anopa nonkron pe mu ekosi enumre nonsia eye 9:30 am kosi 6 pm ena memene danso eye appointment nkoa free anopa nondu ekosi ewia no 9 eye 10 am kosi 4 pm. Yewo 4th floor ewo Anna House 214-218 Tottenham High Road, London N15 4NP. Sawun 93 Seven Sisters Underground Nswa eye kwantie bi. Yen senior partner Bernardo Wusu san ye barrister ya Agyemang na ɔyɛ Ghana Bar Association member ɛna wasan gyina sɛ mmaranimfoɔ ɛwɔ court cases a ɛfa Ghana law ho. Wa advising local authorities, official solicitors office, ne solicitors bebree ɛfa Ghanaian law ho yie. Na ɔsan yɛ obi a ɔtae kasa ɛwɔ radio ɛne TV so fa Ghanaian law ho.
Procedures, regulations, and registration steps and checks you need to know. Thank you very much. We are grateful to Tap Send for helping us bring to you this program live on Facebook, Zoom, YouTube, Omega Live TV, and of course, supporting TV channel from BWTV channel. We thank the partners who have put this together: Ghana Union, Ghana Nurses Association UK, Western Region Association of Nurses UK, and the Ghanaian Nightingale Association. And of course, the support and endorsement by the Ghana High Commission. We thank our panelists for being here. We will have a set of round of questions for our panel. If you can kindly bring them back, I'm sure they would have had a bit of water down. Okay, so I will be going to those whose hands are up, and I haven't called you before. Dr. Yusuf Adai, I believe from United States. And I'll come to Rebecca Christian, please. And I'll come to those other two that have spoken before. Dr. Adai, if you are still with us, please unmute yourself. Do we still have Dr. Adai with us, please? Okay. Can Rebecca please unmute yourself? Rebecca Christian.
Okay, thank you for taking my call. My question is, I think I heard Prof saying that you can get the Ghana card through, say you have link with your mother or grandmother as a Ghanaian. So my question is, can I get Ghana card for my British children, or do I need to get a Ghana passport for them before they can get a Ghana card?
Thank you, Christian. Do we have Dr. Yusuf Adai, please, with us? I know you are a regular participant from the States, so I would like to give you the chance. But in absence, James Doe, please. James Doe, if you want to unmute yourself, if you can give us one question, we've only got a few minutes left.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you very much. I got one suggestion and one question. So I would like to suggest to Prof if it's possible for his office to establish an office at Kotoka, so that when the diasporans are coming, we can just register at the airport, and by the time we come out of immigration and to pick our luggages, then we get our cards, because I can see many people on the call have landed properties and investment in Ghana, so it'd be a very good idea just to do it at the airport. That is my suggestion to Prof. And my next question is about the biometrics. From research, some of the biometrics degenerates after 10 years. So does it mean that every 10 years you're going to renew the card for everybody when we are now struggling to get people registered?
Thank you very much. Can I call on John Forjo, please? John Forjo. John, if you're still with us. And Rebecca Christian, can you lower your hand, please, if you are not raising a new one?
Okay. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to ask a question. I think some people have asked this question, but it wasn't to me. It wasn't properly answered, because my question is: if I have Ghana card, as was said, you can use it to travel anywhere. If I have Ghana card and I come to Heathrow, can I use it to enter the UK? I want easy answer. Yes, no, or it's not possible.
Okay, Mr. Sir, I think we answered that. I believe Mr. Augustine Blay answered that. Ghana card is admissible on entry to Ghana. It is not on entry to any international, West African or sub-region, I believe. So please don't come to Heathrow with Ghana card, because you may not. Until a relationship has been established, I think I will save the panelists that response. Emmanuel, I see Ose Asiri. Emmanuel Ose Asiri. Mr. Ose, are you still with us? Okay, please, Mr. Blay, you got the if you want to deal with that.
Can you hear me?
Is that Emmanuel?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for taking my call and the opportunity to ask a question. And I'm here in Atlanta. First of all, I just want to thank the director, NIA, for what they have begun. It's a process that he said has begun. Began many years ago, but then they have been able to execute it, and I think they need our applause. They've done very well. And then my question is, how sustainable is this process with change of government? That's my question. And the second question, or I can only ask one question.
If you can be quick.
Okay, good. The second question is, I know he touched on the fact that the card will be the primary identification for voting. So if I'm holding a card to vote, how could they determine whether the person holding the card is actually the one ready to vote, or the card owner is deceased? How can they determine that?
Thank you. Prof and Mr. Blay, take over.
Thank you very much. If I may.
Yeah,
Mr. Blay, okay, Mr. Blay, go ahead.
Okay, I will answer just the last one, because that's the only one that all the other questions are related to NIA directly. So, Emmanuel, the voting, when you go in to vote in Ghana, they use biometric to authenticate you. The biometric device authenticates you, and then if you pass, then you go ahead and vote. This is what it is today. So as we are talking about integrating these databases, and when it comes to a Ghana card, it will be the same thing, a verification that the holder of the card is indeed the person who's authorized to vote. So in the same process, your identity will be verified against the biometric on the card, and then we will be authorized to vote. Okay, so the voting will not be impaired. The identity will be confirmed and validated just like we do today. I think the remaining questions are more NIA questions, so Prof can take those.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. In answer to a question earlier, I think from Noble, I missed one important dimension of the question, and I would like to just say so, because it's a matter that goes to the heart of some of the frustration that Ghanaian diasporans experience when they are in Ghana and come to register. You see, and this dovetails into the question by the lady, I didn't catch the name, I think it was either Rebecca or Christine. But the question, the point is this: the National Identification Authority is to register Ghanaians. In that process, your other citizenship is immaterial. We are not interested in whether you are British or American or anything. As long as you are still a Ghanaian. If you have renounced your citizenship, it's another matter. Then the dual citizenship doesn't come in. We are not interested in whether you hold dual citizenship. We are interested in you proving that you are a Ghanaian. So keep your British or American or Danish or other citizenship away. We are not saying hide it, but it's not what we need to know. What we need to know is, are you a Ghanaian? And what establishes that you are a Ghanaian? Now, under Ghanaian law, citizenship is determined, I mean, it's a bit complex, but in sum, a Ghanaian is a person whose parent or grandparent is a Ghanaian. So it can be just one parent or one grandparent. It doesn't have to be both. So that's fine it for the purposes of this conversation. So when you come to NIA, your passport establishes you as a Ghanaian, your valid passport. And a valid passport is the one on which you can travel. The second thing that primarily establishes your Ghanaian citizenship and hence your eligibility to register for the Ghana card is your birth certificate. Now, if you have neither of these two documents, then you prove your citizenship through a third party or third parties vouching for you that they know you to be Ghanaian, and they do so on oath with all the penalties that attend thereto if they perjure themselves, if they lie to the public official. And people have been prosecuted for making false claims, vouching claims, or are being prosecuted, I should say. And we will take our time to investigate a lot of the oaths that people have sworn, vouching for the identities of other persons as Ghanaians. But for your registration purposes, and for the purpose of you registering for the Ghana card, it is sufficient that you come with a valid Ghanaian passport, a valid birth certificate, or in the absence of either of these, a relative who has already acquired the Ghana card coming to vouch for you, or in the absence of a relative, getting two persons who meet a certain criteria, the criteria being professionals, members of registered or recognized professional bodies, such as surveyors, pharmacists, teachers, nurses, doctors, lawyers, all of those kinds of professions, architects and IT specialists. Those persons you can easily find when you look for them because they are connected to a recognized professional body in one way or another. So the professionals, or a gazetted chief, not just about any chief, but a gazetted chief, a magistrate, a judge, a security sector personnel, any of the security sector personnel, and a public servant or civil servant, from the cleaner or messenger or driver all the way to the chief director or the minister, as long as they are public servants or civil servants, as the case may be, and on and on. There's a long list that I can't exhaust for now, and the clergy and all of that. Again, people on whom we can place credence, people we can easily locate, people who can say that they know enough about your sociology or about your nativity to be able to put their credibility on the line and vouch for you as a Ghanaian, so that for once we create for ourselves, to the extent humanly possible, a pristine register of Ghanaians, true Ghanaians, on our register. So when you are in the United Kingdom and we come there to register Ghanaians, your children are Ghanaians if you are a Ghanaian. And those children who have lost their parents, who are carrying, who know that they are Ghanaians, all they have to do is get a relative to vouch for them as Ghanaians. And my sister in Chiswick, London, her children and her children's children are Ghanaians because their mother is a Ghanaian and their grandmother is a Ghanaian or their grandfather is a Ghanaian. It doesn't matter that their biological father may be Italian or some other nationality. Once a parent or a grandparent is a Ghanaian, they are Ghanaian. So my daughter, whose mother is Canadian, is a Ghanaian because I am a Ghanaian. And if I were dead, she could still claim Ghanaian citizenship because her grandmother grandmother, my mother, or her grandfather, my father, was a Ghanaian. But in all of these contexts or instances, the onus rests on that person making the claim to prove it. And I have indicated the various modalities by which you make that, you establish that proof. Now I go to the question, I think the question about whether you can use the Ghana card to enter the UK has been unequivocally answered. The questioner was saying that the question had not been properly answered. It has been properly answered by Mr. Blay, and the answer is no, you cannot enter the UK on the Ghana card. I think I missed Mr. Pojo's question, but so I may be reminded, but the one from Mr. Doe about registration at the airport. We have considered that. It is a suggestion that we have toyed with, looked at. The physical space is not the issue. Equipment and personnel, not the issue. It is about the optics. We've considered the psychology, so the impression it creates of people arriving at the airport when they are about to depart from the airport, and then they go to the registration center at the airport to register. There are those who have expressed concerns about how it appears and the image it casts for us as a country. But it's a conversation that is still being actively pursued, and we will do the right thing, just as we have done with the creation of booths for Ghanaians holding the Ghana card coming in on arrival. We'll do what is needful to ease the pressure for Ghanaians and to make a travel experience more convenient and enjoyable. The question that Mr. Doe asked next is about the 10-year renewal. Why 10-year renewal when you are struggling? Now, we are not struggling. If you call it a struggle, it is a struggle based on overwhelm. But that overwhelm arises from an external stimulus unrelated to NIA's own imperatives. The permanent officers are there, and we know the population of Ghana. We know the population in each community. We cited officers when we were doing the mass registration. We took account of population density in locating the number of registration points at each registration center and the number of registration centers in each community or town and the duration that we stayed. And that is what we followed when we went back to do a mop-up. So when this bubble bursts, when this big pressure cooker, some of it, the air gets out, it will settle down and that will be fine. Then the 10-year question. This National Identification System project is being pursued through the framework of a public-private partnership arrangement. The National Identification Authority is working in partnership with a private sector institution called Identity Management Systems Limited, a leader in the identity management space, which has designed, built, and operated, as it were, the technical system which we are using, which is what enables us to give the card for free to every Ghanaian living in Ghana. And I should say, for Ghanaians in the diaspora, there is the equivalent of $50 United States that Ghanaians in the diaspora will pay for the Ghana card, especially in the Euro-American world. They pay, the Ghanaians in the West African sub-region will pay a fee slightly lower than the Ghanaians in the in the rest of Africa, who also pay a fee slightly lower than those to be paid by the Ghanaians in the rest of the diaspora. And the fees that they pay and from the verification services and all the transactions that we spoke about, that is what is going to pay for the technical system that has been erected, that is enabling us to establish the system, which is a first of its kind, and to be able to issue ID cards instantly at multiple centers. And I can assure you, during the mass registration exercise, over 80% of the cards were issued instantly at multiple centers across the world, something across the country, something that has never happened anywhere in the world. We will continue to do that, but the system must also generate revenue for the Republic of Ghana, and that's what it's going to do over the 15-year life cycle of this project with Identity Management Systems Limited. Finally, the card body itself, the physical card, is valid for 10 years. After 10 years, the card, it's plastic, it will begin to be brittle and the chip may begin to fall off and all kinds of issues. That is a ripe and proper time to go for a renewal of the card. It is just that simple, and it also provides an opportunity for those who had not actually updated other records in the last 10 years. They moved, they changed their name, but they didn't bother and all of that to do so. So the renewal is important both for revenue generation purposes and for the renewal of the validity and accuracy and integrity of the data that we have in the system. Let me speak a bit to the question about the requirements for the Ghana card. I have answered it, but it is primarily proving that you are Ghanaian in accordance with the method or the modalities I specified, and you produce your digital address. So if you are asking people to register for the Ghana card at the airport on arrival, most of them will not have the digital address. Most of them will be dependent on information supplied by other persons about their digital addresses. Take it from me, stand in front of my house and do it for me. Accuracy issues. But if you have arrived in the country, you stand at your gate, you download the app and you stand at the gate, at the Ghana Digital app, and you stand at your gate and you generate the digital address and you take it to the NI registration center. There's greater credibility and reliability in that. I should finally say that the institutions that we are linking up, the integration and data harmonization and integration is also happening with the Lands Commission, which is also a process that is going to help us ease ourselves out of the conundrum we find ourselves in with respect to undependable land procurement, land registration processes and multiple claimants and all of that, because it is biometric. We're doing that with the student loan scheme, we're doing that with the national service scheme, and we're going to be doing that with the Ministry of Education, for example. And it should be possible to track a child's entire life cycle, who goes to what school, what scholarships they get, what employments they get, where they relocate. You can track all of that because you have registered people from birth, and when they enroll in school, you have it. And when they check out of this world, you have also a record of that, because we are also linking up with the births and deaths registry in trying to do data harmonization and integration. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. This would have been time for us to round up, but I am tempted to call Dr. Yusuf Adai. He's a staunch audience from Ghanaian community in the United States. Doc, please go ahead.
Yeah, Kwesi, thank you very much. And I thank Prof and Mr. Blay for the wonderful presentation. I think this is something that all the Ghanaians in diaspora want to hear. I got a couple of questions, one from Mr. Blay, another for Prof. I was in Ghana in February 2020. I renewed my passport, and that was the time that the card was being made, and I also got my Ghanaian card. I came back in September of last year. When I was coming, I entered Ghana with my Ghana passport, and during the process of registering for the COVID, I had to put my Ghana passport number there so that I wouldn't be charged the 150 for foreigners. I was charged the 50 for Ghanaians. Now that this card has come, if I'm coming this year, which I'm planning to, and I'm coming with my US passport and the Ghana card, will I be able to register for the COVID with the Ghana card so that I will not be charged the $150 instead of the Ghana $50. That's the first one. The second one for Prof is that I'm very happy that this card is existing, and listening to you, it looks like we are moving towards a long dream of having a national ID number. And so from what you have said, is it that when this card is to be renewed, you are going to get the same card number as you have, instead of what happens to the passport, that when you change it, the passport number changes? I thank you for your audience, and we appreciate what you are doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Blay, I'll add 2 questions from the chat room. How can you guarantee data safety and security with all the information that people are providing? And then also, at what stage would you find it fit for online application process to begin for those who otherwise could not? Maybe in the course of 10 years, you've lost your card. Can an online basis be established? I think that is the 2. And then we'll come to a roundup for closing remarks, please.
All right. So I will take the 2 that my name was mentioned specifically. For the COVID, on the 1st of March, as you all know, the Ghana Immigration Services established a booth to process Ghanaians coming into Ghana with their Ghana card to go through. One of the issues that was raised was exactly that you are coming to Ghana, you have your Ghana card proving that you're Ghanaian, but you hold an American passport. How will you be able to pay for the COVID? Will you pay as a foreigner? Will you pay as a Ghanaian? So we have triggered a conversation with the frontier services to allow the Ghanaians coming to Ghana with a Ghana card to pay for the Ghanaian fees. Right now, they check for the the passport number. And when you arrive at the airport, right, we are telling them that they should allow the Ghanaians coming with a Ghana card to pay as Ghanaians for the $50. So this is a conversation that I've triggered that I will have to follow up and see what's the final decision on this sometime next week. I don't know whether Prof has an update on it. But
I think that if you want, I think that is we have to book and pay in advance before we even get a chance to board.
That's correct.
That's
where
right. And you're asking, you can maybe expedite action on that.
Yes, and that's why I'm saying that there's something that came up as part of our discussion, integrating the Ghana card into the immigration service at the airport. So we have triggered a conversation on it. So as soon as the feedback as soon as I get the feedback, you will hear it. But in principle, if you're coming to Ghana with a Ghana card, proving that you're a Ghanaian, right? you should pay the fee as a Ghanaian, not as a foreigner. Right? So they have to make some changes in their system. They were telling us. So I need to get an update on it when I get back home.
Thank you.
So that is the question about in terms of security. Prof can answer that question. they have a serious cyber security protection system in place. So I don't want to steal the thunder from him. He can speak to that specifically. Online application renewal. I suppose you are talking about renewing your Ghana card online. I think this is also within NIA's preview.
So for instance, somebody has a 10-year, they've lost it, and they want to renew. They don't necessarily, within the 10 years, their biometric is there. How do they go about, just online application, and then it get issued, and they can just pick it up or something?
Okay, so I'll let Prof answer that. Thank you.
Right. I appreciate your times have been stretched. So if we are brief on it so that please we can let's go and have a restful weekend beginning this Friday evening. So Prof, we wait for you too.
Yes, thank you very much. Again, quickly, thank you very much, Emmanuel Osei for the commendation, and also Dr. Yusuf Adai for appreciating the work that we've done. I can assure you that this is sustainable. One of the greatest success factors in this work has been the endorsement of key influencers in Ghanaian society. President Kufuor, late President Rawlings during his lifetime, may God keep his soul safely. And of course, President John Dramani Mahama, the Otumfuo Asantehene, the Chief Imam all of these key influencers in society and many others who have endorsed it. Now, all the political parties, we engage them, we have partnerships, we forged collaboration. There were some hiccups and difficulties at the beginning, but I think that by and large, Ghanaian society is united in a common conviction that this is proper, this is right, and this is an idea whose time has come and is crystallized and is going to stay. It would be extraordinary if any government in future may want to depart from what it is that we've done, and given the obvious benefits and the revenue generation that is also going to come from this. So that is it. The biometric verification is the way to go, as Mr. Blay emphasized with respect to voting. And Dr. Yusuf, can a Ghanaian register? Well, Mr. Blay has answered it. Are we giving unique ID numbers? Yes. What the Americans are so proud of, the Social Security number or the National Health Insurance number of the British, we have that. We have a unique personal identification number that is immutable, that is unchanging. And so when 10 years comes and you go to renew your Ghana card, the same personal identification number will remain, but the document number will change, just as your passport document number changes. But the personal identification number, like your social security number in the United States, will remain constant. It is ambulatory with you from birth to death. Data security and safety. I spoke earlier about our compliance with our obligation to comply with the data protection laws of the Republic. And the Data Protection Commission is very vigilant in ensuring that all data bearers comply strictly with the law. And then we're doing that. But if you also look at the security features of the Ghana card, because we are at the tail end, I don't want to take too much time, but if you hold your Ghana card, you will see tremendous security features. That the information on it is embedded in a manner and encrypted in a manner that cannot be, as it were, hacked. Well, technology, you don't know what may happen today. But as technology exists today, what we have built is a system that is relatively foolproof, that you cannot hack into it, you cannot clone it, and all of that. So we have the assurance of security and safety. Then online application process. We already have an online application process, but you go, and I indicated this earlier, you can go online, and we want to make that option even more open to the diasporans, that you go online and fill the form, but you have to print it and bring it to the registration center or office, where you will be interviewed, because your claim to Ghanaianness is not automatic. There will be people who will go online and fill the form accurately, but are not Ghanaians. And we, as I said, we prosecuted somebody successfully yesterday, and the person was holding a Ghanaian birth certificate. But the interview process established that he was not. And he pleaded not guilty with explanation. And at the end of the day, he was convicted. So yes, you can go online and fill the form, print it, and come and be interrogated. And also come and have your biometrics taken. You cannot take your own biometrics. You cannot use any other device to capture your biometrics, no matter how sharp they are. The devices we use are custom made, and they must meet the highest international standards, ISO certification standards, and of course, ICAO certification standards that Mr. Blay spoke about earlier. These are high-level stringent requirements, and it is the NIA certified equipment that must be used to capture you. So there is room for online registration, but it is for the sake of efficiency in capturing your biographic data. But your citizenship determination and the biometric data capture will have to be done by qualified officials of the National Identification Authority, or those at the Ghana missions designated as such for the purposes of diasporan registration. Thank you very much.
So much, Prof. May I just say to the audience, those who couldn't join, this program has been recorded live. It will be available if you go to Facebook and you type in Ghanaian Community Awareness Forum. All the things we've done over the past year are all there. You can go back and listen to it. And, you know, those who have missed any information, Prof and Mr. Blay have kindly provided as much as possibly for this evening. We would like to thank our special guests. But before I do, they have any closing remarks that they want to add to it? Just for a second or two remarks. So, Mr. Blay, if you have any closing remarks for us as Diasporan?
Well, I would like to thank you for giving me the platform to participate in this conversation. It was professionally organized, and then the audience very respectful and asking deep questions to try to understand. So I'm very, very happy. I also like to say that it's an evidence that Ghana is putting the right blocks in place to digitize the economy fully, and something that we must be proud of. The Western countries have done this, and they did this long time ago. Many African countries are struggling to get there. But we have achieved through the NIA under the leadership of Prof. Attafuah here. We have about 16 million Ghanaians registered, unique in Africa, unique in West Africa for sure, where we are ready to show a card that is accepted internationally and globally. So yeah, we are doing well. Thank you very much for your prayers and your continued support. Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you for being with me on this panel. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blay. Prof, please, if you want to round up with us.
Well, thank you very much. Nothing now remains than for me to associate myself with the sentiments expressed by Mr. Augustine Blay, and to thank you all for the opportunity to have the government of Ghana and NIA speak to you about what the National Identification Authority is doing and what the National Identification System is about, and what it is that our plan is to come and register Ghanaians in the diaspora. We are most grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. On behalf of the Ghanaian community and the Ghanaian Community Awareness Forum, the audience, and everyone joining us live on Facebook, YouTube, and Omega Live and BW, I want to thank Prof. I want to thank you so much. I appreciate how much time you have had to save to get to us this evening. I'm very grateful for the collaboration and making it possible for us to bring this. I am sure we will call on you at some point again, but I would have wished that you can give us some assurance when you come to Diaspora, so that these questions can go to bed at some point. And I hope you will work on that as quick as you possibly can. Mr. Augustine Blay, thank you so much. The government has digitalized Ghana so much that we are probably one of the most digital countries, I believe, in West Africa, or if not Africa as a whole. We are grateful for the work all of you are doing. All Ghanaian Community Diaspora Forum want to do is to bring information. So wherever possible, help us reach out to some of the key structures of the institutions that we need to hear from. It does help to debunk some of the misinformation that goes on social media from time to time. So I am grateful for your time. Thank you so much. Have a restful weekend, and may God continue to bless the hands of your work. And we thank audience for their participation and time. Be safe and stay well. Have a good weekend. Good night.
Thank you enough.
Yeah, fair ma yewo London. Ya abasobodie bebree. Ne ya redare ewo mranse mu. Eye legal services, BTC family law, matrimonial law, immigration, dispute resolution, Ghanaian customary, any family law. What BWF yen solicitors edi enijie ene twitwaje wo na yebo nso nya den kra. Yen partner penin pa Bernardo Wusu aye lawyer ewo UK memu bebru mfie duonu nkron 29 years. BWF Solicitors kura won ho Inti se ba na ebusuansem bi te se child care, eya abofra hwemu, awaregya ye ho twema mentwi. Ene ohye ana injunction ye de to domestic violence so a, ye ma legal assistance ya edimu na ye adwuma nso. Yen child care any family team no nim nia wo famu ewe nia ya wo bremu. Enu nti ne yeto ye mbo ase ma wafutu a esefata ewo kokoa mu. Yen senior partner Ayobia Law Society Family Law Accreditation Panel agina tumu no sanso ye member na kyerese eba no se ye gina wachi etwitwaje ewo family any matrimonial cases ho a unni haw kra. Upe advice ewo immigration sensem ho. Wo BWF Solicitors dear, ye immigration team no abridare ewo general immigration ho nsemsem, kosi complex immigration, work permit, student visa ho totoye, any entry clearance visas, family visas, ni appeals. Ye senior partner eye member na wasan ginatum ewo Law Society Immigration Accreditation Panel. Inti se taiwachi a wunni haw kra. Ye bie an office free juada ekosi fiada. Anopa nonkron pe mu ekosi enumre nunsia eye 9:30 am kosi 6 pm ena memene danso eye appointment nkoa free anopa nondu ekosi ewia no 9 eye 10 am kosi 4 pm. Yewo 4th floor ewo Anna House 214-218 Tottenham High Road, London N15 4NP. Sawun 93 Seven Sisters Underground nso a eye kwantie bi. Yen senior partner Bernard Owusu san ye barrister ya gina tumu na oye Ghana Bar Association member ena wasan gina se mranimfo ewo court cases ya efa Ghana law ho. Wa advise local authorities, official solicitors office, ni solicitors bebree efa Ghanaian law ho yi na osan yo bia otai kasa ewo radio any TV so fa Ghanaian law ho.
General